Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing a full combo video on Splight. I'm going to be going super in depth, all of the different things that you can do with this deck, the interruptions that you can make, the crazy boards, some of the different options you have to beat this deck, but we're going to go through all of the various Splight things today. I have a multitude of combos that I'm planning to show you, but starting with this one, it's just Splight Starter. This is one of their amazing quick play spells. All of their spells are quick play spells, which are already the best spells in the game. Everything is super searchable. You have a ton of interruptions. This deck plays through some of the best hand traps super duper easily. It's actually a really difficult deck to play against, and it will most certainly warp the meta. But let's get started. So all you need for this combo is just one copy of Splight Starter. It's insane. This we'll get, I think, at least 5 interruptions out of this off of just Splight Starter, which is just insane. And it plays through Nibiru, Droll and Lockbird, and virtually every other hand trap after you use the XYZ monster, which is kind of crazy. But let's get started. We're going to activate the effect of Splight Starter. Splight Starter will allow us to special summon a Splight monster from our deck, and then we're locked into level 2, rank 2, and link 2 monsters. That's irrelevant. That's all we play in our deck anyway. So we're going to special summon Splight Blue, activate the effect of Splight Blue to summon another Splight from our deck, which will be Splight Jet. Or not special summon, add Splight Jet to our hand, and then we can special summon Splight Jet because we have a level 2/rank 2 on the field. Special summon, activate the effect of Splight Jet. There's 2 different options that you have here that are pretty good. Splight Starter, again, which is the card we just got, and then Splight Smashers, depending on if you're going first or second. Splight Smashers is actually really good. All you have to do is just banish a Splight monster out of your graveyard, and then you can banish a monster you control and banish a monster your opponent controls, which is actually, like, kind of good because it's non-targeting, non-destruction removal. It's actually kind of strong. And then, of course, we've got Splight Starter. This is a hard once per turn, but you can use this during your opponent's turn. And some of the Splites have effects where if your opponent activates, for example, a spell card or a trap card, you can actually tribute another monster you control, another Splight monster you control, and then negate a monster or spell or trap, depending on which Splight monster you actually choose to summon. It's actually, like I said, it's kind of good depending on the matchup. Generally speaking, if you're going first, you don't know what your opponent's playing, you want to just go with the Splight Starter, because based on what they activate, you can choose to get a negate going. If this is better, like going second, or if they're playing some sort of monsters that are difficult to out. But we're going to pick the Splight Starter. Again, you have multiple options there. Next, we're going to go into the Gigantic Splight. These two. Summon Gigantic Splight. Activate Gigantic Splight. Gigantic Splight, we're going to detach blue. Gigantic Splight has a pretty crazy effect where you can, during your main phase, you can detach one material, and then you can special summon a level 2 monster from your deck, and then this card locks you and your opponent into level 2, rank 2, link 2 monsters for the rest of the turn. That is just an unreal effect. Like, that is such a crazy effect. The fact that you lock both yourself and your opponent, like, it's almost not even a restriction, because your deck is built to play around that. Your opponent's deck is not built to play around that. So from here on in, your opponent cannot use, like, for example, Cyframe Gear Gamma. They cannot use, for example, they can't use Cyframe Gear Gamma. They can't use Nibiru because Nibiru is not a level 2, rank 2 monster. It's just it allows you to play around hand traps that are just absolutely broken. Yeah, that's one of the crazier restrictions. On top of that, if you're going second and you're playing against your opponent has a bunch of monsters that float, like let's say you're playing against Sky Strikers, you activate this effect for the rest of the turn. They can't summon any monsters that aren't level 2, rank 2, link 2. So when you destroy, for example, their Sky Striker Kagari, they can't float into a Ray because Ray is not a level 2 monster, which is, I mean, that's kind of crazy. And that also applies for other decks that just have floating effects. Yeah, pretty crazy there. So now we're going to detach, special summon Swap Frog. Swap Frog is going to activate its effect on summon in order to send Ronin Tone to the graveyard. Next, we're going to link both of them away to make a Splight Elf. And we're going to activate the effect of Splight Elf to special summon Swap Frog to our side of the field. You always want to summon under the columns of the Spright Elf. And on summon, we're going to activate the Swap Frog. The reason you want to summon underneath the Splight Elf columns is because any card under these columns can't be targeted. So your opponent cannot like Imperm or Forbidden Chalice or just any targeting effects cannot be done to the monsters that are underneath here. It's kind of, again, like just random protection. Your opponent may not know too much and hurt themselves with it. And then we're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog to return Swap Frog to the hand, giving us an extra normal summon of a frog. But since we have not normal summoned at all this turn, we can actually just use our regular normal summon to summon Swap Frog. But if we had 2 Swap Frogs in this case, we could have summoned, or not, if we had a Dupe Frog, not Swap Frog, if we had a Dupe Frog, we could have extra normal summoned. So now we're going to normal summon Swap Frog again. The effect is not once per turn. We're going to send yet another Swap Frog to the graveyard. So in our graveyard right now, we have Ronin Toad, and then we have 2 Swap Frogs, so we have multiple times that we can use Ronin Toad if we wanted to. And if we had more extenders, we could probably make 2 Toads if we really wanted to. So now we're going to activate Ronin Toad, banish the Swap Frog, to special summon Ronin Toad, and then we are going to special summon the Totally Awesome right here. So this is our end board. We're going to, of course, set the Splight starter. It seems like an unassuming board, but we actually have Totally Awesome. We can negate twice with it, and I'll show you how later. Because, well, I'll just tell you now. You can use Totally Awesome twice because if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon a rank 2 monster from your graveyard, which would be the Totally Awesome. So you can activate Totally Awesome, negate something your opponent does, steal it, put it in your back row, then activate Splight Elf, bring back the Totally Awesome. Now you can use Totally Awesome twice, and also you can special summon Dupe Frog, and Splight Starter will allow you to summon any Splight you want onto the field, and then you also get an interruption / negate out of that. But I'll show you right now how that goes. I'm gonna, right here, I made my opponent draw 15 cards. I'm playing, of course, the computer just to like show these combos, because that way I can start with 1 card. But I made it so my opponent draws 15 cards, and we're going to basically prevent them from playing with just the ones we have. During standby phase, we're going to activate the effect of Totally Awesome, detach the Ronin Toad. They're going to try to Ash, but we can just activate the effect of Totally Awesome. And you always want to wait for the Splight starter. You want to see what your opponent is playing exactly, and then you want to use Splight starter. So I could have used Splight starter in the standby phase and then just negated this Ash, but you got to see what your opponent's playing, and based on what they do, then you want to use the Splight starter. We're going to activate the effect of the Totally Awesome, negating the Ash, and then we're going to activate the Splight starter, and I think I'm going to go with the one that negates... You can also use the one to search if you wanted to, but I'm going to go with the one that negates monster effects. When your opponent activates a monster effects, which is Splight Red. Which I should have... Yeah, that's good. You summon it under here so it can't be targeted. We're going to summon Dupe Frog right here. And then Totally Awesome is going to activate in Graveyard to add back Swap Frog. So you get a lot of extra resources. Our opponent is going to activate a spell card, which we didn't see coming, but it's fine. We can activate... Not yet, but... We're going to let him do whatever he has to do. Now our opponent controls a monster. We're going to activate the effect of Splight Elf to special summon Totally Awesome back. They're going to activate the effect of Ghost, Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. We can again negate that because why not? We're going to get rid of the Dupe Frog, negate the Ghost Ogre, special summon the Totally Awesome back. They're going to go Hayate, activate Hayate. Do we activate the effect of Totally Awesome? I mean, they can just Sky Striker Ace Ray again. We're going to let it slide, let them do that. They're going to send that. Kagari. Again, they're just going to summon Hayate anyway. I mean, they're just going to summon the other one anyway, so... Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome, negate that. They're going to activate that. And right here, they're going to end phase on their usual board. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. You got multiple interruptions. We stopped all of the various cards that they activated. We also could steal cards, which is crazy. Unfortunately, our opponent didn't like play into that. We could have stole some of these cards, like if they had Raigeki, but that is kind of the first combo. It's a 1-card combo that ends on 4 interruptions, which is kind of crazy. And it plays through Nibiru, which can't be said about a lot of decks. Alright, next up we've got another 1-card combo. This deck is full of 1-card combos that play around Nibiru, that play around hand traps. It's incredible. So for this next combo, you just need 1 copy of Swap Frog. Now this won't be as good of a board as the last one, but it's pretty good considering the fact that you literally just start with 1 single copy of Swap Frog. So we're going to normal summon Swap Frog. We're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog to send Ronin Toad Then we're going to link away the Swap Frog, since we're not locked into anything, into Salamangreat Almirage. Now that Almirage is on the field, we can activate the effect of Ronin Toad to special summon Swap Frog right there. And then we can special summon using the Ronin Toad and the Almirage to make a Splight Elf. Splight Elf just requires at least one Link 2, Rank 2, Link 2 monster. So we can link these two away to summon that, and then we can activate this effect to special summon from our graveyard the Ronin Toad. And now we can use these two as XYZ material. Gigantic Splight has an effect where, or I should say a summoning condition, where you can actually use a Link 2 monster in order to summon the Splight Elf, which is kind of a crazy thing. And then when you do that, the Gigantic Splight actually has double the attack. So this comes out, instead of 1600, it comes out at 32. Now we can use the effect of Gigantic Splight. What summon is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th summon. So we can activate this effect to detach, to special summon another copy of Swap Frog. And then we're going to activate the other copy of Swap Frog to send a Swap Frog. And we're going to banish the Swap Frog we just sent to special summon out the Ronin Toad. And now we can use both of these in order to make a Totally Awesome. And just like that, just off of one single Swap Frog, imagine the rest of our hand is all bricks. One single Swap Frog, we have a Totally Awesome, which can negate, steal a monster, special summon a monster during the standby phase. Actually, I'll just show you. We'll just go through with it. We're gonna standby phase, activate Totally Awesome, detach Ronin Toad, summon Dupe Frog, and then our opponent's gonna activate something, and then we can just activate Totally Awesome, negate, and theoretically we could have taken the monster. They can just do it again because they're Sky Strikers, but there you go, just like that. Now, another crazy thing that's, again, pretty crazy about Splights is you can activate the Gigantic Splight, detach, and then you can, it doesn't matter really what you summon. We're going to summon red, but it doesn't matter, again, what you really summon. Summon the red, but now both of us are locked into level 2s, and you can just enter the battle phase, attack over the Shizuku, and our opponent actually cannot use their Ray. Because they're blocked into level 2s. Ray is not a level 2, so they can't actually float into the Ray. And this is what I was talking about earlier. It's kind of an insane effect. But that is combo number 2. Extremely easy one-card combo. Alright, next we've got another extremely simple one-card combo. It really is wild what this deck can do with just singular cards. And even if, like, we summon this Sea Diva and the effect was to be negated, we could just use our Splights to special summon themselves and then just continue our combos if nothing happened. It's unbelievable. So like I said, we're going to normal summon the Sea Diva, activate it in order to special summon another Sea Diva. And again, if we, for example, for any reason, let's say this got ashed and Sea Diva wasn't summoned, we actually could just special summon any Splight. It's incredible. It's incredible. Next, we're going to use these two to go into a copy of Gigantic Splight. Right there. Activate the effect of Gigantic Splight. Detach in order to special summon a Swap Frog from the deck. We're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog to send Ronin Toad. Then we are going to use both of these right here to make our Splight Elf. We're going to activate the effect of Splight Elf in order to special summon the Swap Frog back. We're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog on summon to send another Swap Frog to the graveyard. And now we are going to activate Ronin Toad to banish Swap Frog to special summon Ronin Toad. And we are going to make our Totally Awesome. Again, one card combo. This is what we're going to end on. Super good here. We have a Totally Awesome, a Splight Elf, and what's good is, again, Totally Awesome can be used twice, because you use Totally Awesome, send it to the graveyard, send itself to the graveyard for cost, and if our opponent controls a monster, we can use Splight Elf to bring back the Totally Awesome. So we basically get 2 Totally Awesomes, and on top of that, even our opponent had like some sort of a negate. Totally Awesome floats when it leaves the field anyway, so it's not like it matters regardless. Totally Awesome floats, and you could just, again, bring it back if you really needed to. So I'll show you again. Totally Awesome, detach Ronin Toad, special summon Dupe. They can only attack Dupe Frog. They can't attack these two. Our opponent's going to special summon. We're not going to do anything yet. They're going to go into Hayate. They can attack directly, activate effect. We're going to activate Totally Awesome. We're going to tribute Totally Awesome. And then our opponent's going to activate Ray. We're going to activate the effect of Totally Awesome. And we are going to get back the Swap Frog to our hand. Now our opponent's going to tribute for cost. Here, since they don't have a monster on the field, I'm not going to activate the effect of Splight. I'm going to turn on Chaining Manual so that when they do have a monster, I can actually use. So they have Shizuku on the field. I'm going to activate the Splight to special summon Totally Awesome. And now they're going to activate End Phase Shizuku. We're going to again activate the effect of Totally Awesome. Tributing, it doesn't, you actually shouldn't even tribute itself right now. You should just tribute the Swap Frog in your hand that you got back for free to negate that, and they've already used the effective Ray, and their turn is over. We just stopped all of the various Sky Striker lines with just this singular card combo. All this took was one Deep Sea Diva, and we stopped every single Sky Striker monster. The floating, the sending from deck, and the adding from deck. We stopped literally all of it. We stopped 3 cards with just one single what is it called? Just one single like card, and now we still have this entire board, and we can just continue to play. Again, pretty crazy combo. I've got another probably 1-card combo coming up next. Alright, so for the next combo, we're actually in the range of the multi-card combos. I've shown you all of the 1-card combos. There's actually more 1-card combos that you can do. I don't play them in my deck personally, but you can play the Evil Twins. And the Evil Twins basically are full Splight combos every single time. It just depends on that build that you're playing. Truly, if you are playing the Evil Twins, you literally, it's the exact same combo as Deep Sea Diva, but you can also end on the Evil Twin package, and then you draw a card, pop a card during your opponent's turn, in addition to the stuff that you usually do. But this time, we're going to continue with the frogs. We've got Splight Blue and Swap Frog. This is our start. We're going to normal summon Swap Frog. We're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog. A lot of this stuff gets repetitive, but you kind of just have to know this. We send Ronin Toad, special summon Blue. And then with these two, Blue is special summon, we get the search. And now we're going to search Jet. And then we're going to activate Jet to special summon itself because we control level 2s. Activate Jet in order to search. And this, again, this is one of those things where it's up to you. The next card you summon can... the card you're going to summon off of starter is going to be one of the Splights that negates. Or you can just take Splight Smashers, and then you just banish a card you control and your opponent controls. Again, it depends on what you think the interruptions or games, or basically the cards that your opponent will do. So this can be actually kind of good. Splight Smashers, if you know your opponent's going to be playing Dark Ruler No More, this is the card you take because this will work regardless. But then again, this will work regardless too because they Dark Ruler No More, and then you just use the one of the negating Splights to just keep playing. So Splight Starter is generally speaking better. Activate the Splight Starter. We're going to summon one of the ones that negates. This is up to you. You can summon Red or you can summon Carrot. This negates a spell and trap card. This negates a monster effect. Either one is fine usually. We're going to get both of them at our end board regardless. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we're going to summon that. And now from here, we have a variety of things that we can do. Blue and Jet. And then we're going to activate detaching Blue in order to special summon a level 2 monster from our deck. Right here, we are going to summon... we already summoned Red, so I'm just going to summon Carrot here. I want to end on both interruptions with this particular combo. Swap Frog, Splight, and right here we're going to go into the Elf. And then we're going to activate Elf in order to special summon the Swap Frog. Summon it right here, so it protects from Imperm. We're going to and Effect Veiler. We're going to activate Swap Frog, and then we're going to send another Swap Frog. We're then going to activate the Ronin in the graveyard. Special summon Ronin, banish the Swap Frog, overlay, and we're going to make a totally awesome. So this again is a pretty cool board. Basically, this right here is a monster negate. It is an Ash Blossom like effect, so it does not negate activation, so you have to be conscious of that. You can't do it like in damage step, for example, but you can do it in every other sense. And what's good about this effect, since it does not negate activations, your opponent can't use the effect again if you negate like a hard once per turn, which is really cool. Because if you negate the activation of a hard once per turn, they can actually activate it again, whereas in this case they can't, which is kind of cool. Same thing with Carrot. It negates a spell or trap card. Same thing. All you have to do is send a tribute another rank 2, level 2, or level 2, rank 2, or link 2 monster. So we're going to pass here immediately. We're going to activate the effect of Totally Awesome, detach Ronin, special summon Dupe Frog. Dupe Frog can be one of the cards that you use for this. Our opponent's going to do something. They're going to activate some kind of effect. Summon Hayate. They didn't use the effect. But this is, for example, this is a perfect example of the banishing card being better than this card, for example. The banishing card would have just banished like Hayate and one of our Splights or Dupe Frog, and then we could have just, they would have activated Ray, and we could have just negated the Ray, and then their turn would have been totally over. But in this particular case, again, you want to go for the things that stop the most issues. But this is pretty much the end board. We've got a Dupe Frog, we've got a monster negate, a spell negate, and totally awesome. And after we use totally awesome, we can actually special summon it again. So we have double totally awesome, monster negate, spell or trap card negate. Like, this is actually kind of crazy. This is only a 2-card combo. It really wasn't even something that we play at small increments. We have a card that we started with blue and Swap Frog, which is a totally common start. You play both at 3, and one of them is searchable, so it's like a completely easy to start with card. This is the, I don't know what combo we are at now, probably like 4th combo, but on to the next combo. Alright, so this next combo is really, really interesting. So basically all you need for this combo, again, is just Deep Sea Diva, Splight Blue. Again, it's like these starters are so easy to like get to. Basically, if you get 2 level 2s on board, you can do a lot with this deck. But yeah, if you don't have this, you're going to draw Swap Frog. If you don't draw this, you're going to draw some other form of level 2. So the deck is extremely consistent. This particular combo, Deep Sea Diva, Splight Blue. We're going to normal summon the Deep Sea Diva, activate Deep Sea Diva in order to special summon another copy of Deep Sea Diva. Now we're going to activate the Splight Blue to special summon itself and activate its effect in order to what's it called, search from deck. We're going to search the one that, in this particular case, we're going to search the searcher, the Jet, and then we're going to summon Jet and activate Jet. Again, it's up to you which one you want. You can get Smasher to banish a card you and your opponent controls, or you can go with Starter and have an additional interruption. But we're going to add that to our hand. Next, we are going to use these two divas in order to go into a Crystron Hacklefibrax. And then we're going to activate the effect of Crystron Hacklefibrax. Do we want to chain anything? No, we do not want to chain the starter. Hacklefibrax. This is actually really interesting. You can add any of these hand traps, any one of them. You have Ash Blossom, very good against Rogue. Not particularly great in the mirror match, but very good against Rogue. You've got Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, extremely good against the Adventurer package. It basically wrecks the entire Adventurer package. You activate this when they activate the continuous spell, and it's all over because it doesn't resolve. You've got Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, which is getting an ultimate in the next OTS pack. It's actually really good in the mirror match. You can either use Ghost Reaper on the Totally Awesome, or you can use Ghost Reaper on the Gigantic Splight. It's really up to you, but it's actually kind of a good card. And again, this is all free. You're just going to be able to bounce it to your hand and be able to use them. Ghost Bell, of course. Graveyard effects. Good against Ronin Totem, but not as good as DD Crow against Ronin Totem because it only stops it once. It's not once per turn. You can technically get Gamma back to your hand, but you can only activate it if you have no cards in hand. And of course, Effect Veil. There's probably other options that I didn't put in here, but again, it's up to you. Typically, Ash is going to be the best just because Ash is very good against Rogue. So generally, Ash is going to be pretty good there. Now we're going to make Gigantic Splight using these two right there. Activate the effect of Gigantic Splight in order to detach Blue and special summon Swap Frog. Activate the effect of Swap Frog. Do we want to chain anything? No, we don't want to chain anything. Swap Frog, and we are going to send a Ronin Totem to the graveyard. Now we're going to use Crystron and Gigantic Splight to summon our copy here of Splight Elf. Now we're going to activate the effect of Swap Frog to return Ash Blossom to our hand for cost, and that'll give us another summon of a frog monster. But we don't have any, but that's irrelevant because just returning it to hand that's good enough. We're going to get an Ash Blossom back to hand just like that for free. So next we're going to activate the effect of Splight Elf. We are going to special summon Ronin Totem back. And now we're going to overlay into the swap for, into the totally awesome. And now we can activate the Splight Smasher in order to summon another Splight, which in this particular case, again, it's up to you. What do you want to negate? This will negate monster effects. This will negate spawn trap cards. Generally speaking, more monster negates is better because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just more monster based, especially in the mirror match. And that's it. This is the end board. Of course, I have to show you their turn because during their turn, we're going to summon a dupe, detach Ronin, summon the dupe, so your opponent can only attack Dupe Frog. And that's basically their board. Our board there, we have Totally Awesome. Again, we can summon it back with Splight Alpha after we negate something. Dupe Frog, we can get rid of the Dupe Frog using red and negate a monster effect. And now we have an Ash Blossom in addition to all of that, which is, it's pretty darn cool. It's crazy that you can actually bounce your own hand traps for cost and then Ash your opponent. It's insane. And again, you basically can search any tuner hand trap, which almost all of them are. This combo is definitely pretty sick. That's it for this one. All right, here's the next combo and probably the last combo. We've got Emergency Teleport and Splight Blue. Emergency Teleport can literally be, it could be other cards. So this can be like Unexpected Die in a normal level 2 water monster like Slime Toad or Frog the Jam as it used to be called. This can be literally any normal summonable level 2 monster. That's how crazy it is. So we're going to activate the Emergency Teleport. This is actually very good in the deck because you can just Emergency Teleport and then summon Gamma. Gamma is also very, very good in the deck because it's good against an opposing Splight player. You just have to Gamma very, very early on in the turn, and it can actually do a lot of damage to the entire combo. But Gamma is generally a pretty good card to play against Splites, and it's a pretty good card to play in Splites. So we're going to summon the Gamma, and then we are going to, since we control a level 2, special summon the Splight Blue, activate Splight Blue to summon Jet, or to search Jet, and then we're going to summon Jet out onto the board, and then we're going to activate Jet in order to search the starter, and then we're going to activate the starter in order to add, this is up to you. If you're afraid of Imperm, you add Carrot. If you're afraid of Nibiru or Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler, stuff like that, then you go with red. It's very difficult to tell what your opponent's going to do. It's very difficult to like read your opponent in this situation, but it really depends on what, it depends on what they're playing basically and what you've seen from previous games. But generally speaking, both Imperm and Effect Veiler can hurt if they Imperm or Effect Veiler the giant Splight. So it really is up to you. Most of the time you want to make red because it'll let you play around monster effects. So you make that, and then you go into the gigantic Splight using the Jet and the blue. And now, again, this is our 5th summon. If they were to Nibiru, you could negate it with red by sending Gamma to the graveyard. And Gamma's here, and we can bounce it to our hand. But in reality, we really don't care about this Gamma all that much. It's not like... we don't have to have it on board. It's more of an insurance policy. If we get like our board clear, then we have Gamma in hand to have some just have some sort of additional defenses. But we don't particularly need the Gamma, so you can just send it to the graveyard and negate whatever hand effect they have to prevent you. So now we're going to activate Gigantic Splight, lock ourselves into level 2s, us and our opponent, so we can no longer get Nibiru after this point. We're going to detach blue in order to summon the Swap Frog. Then we are going to, Swap Frog hits the field, activate Swap Frog immediately to send a copy of Ronin Totem to the graveyard. And now we are going to activate the effect of Swap Frog to bounce back the Gamma for cost to give us an extra normal summon of Frog, which we are never going to use. But again, the reason we bounce back the Cyframe Gear Gamma is if our opponent manages to like Dark Ruler us and break our board, they're not going to be able to kill us that turn, and that's guaranteed. They're not going to be able to kill us that turn because when you Dark Ruler your opponent, you can't do any battle damage or effect. Like your opponent takes no battle damage, so even if they like completely eradicate our board, we're still going to be able to add back cards with. We're still going to be able to add cards back with Totally Awesome. And in addition to adding back cards with Totally Awesome, we're going to be able in main phase 2 to start using Gamma once they clear our board. So we're still going to be able to play, and it'll give us additional kind of like follow-up plays, I should say. So now we're going to have the Swap Frog here, the Gigantic Splight. We're going to activate, not activate anything. We're going to link away the Swap Frog and the Gigantic Splight, summoning it right here in order to give the targeting protection to the red, just in case they have like an Imperm in addition to a monster effect. Next, we're going to activate the the Splight Elf in order to special summon the Swap Frog from our graveyard, summoning it right here. It gives it targeting protection. Activate the Swap Frog in order to send another Swap Frog to the graveyard. We're going to banish Swap Frog in order to summon Ronin Toad to our side of the field, and then we're going to special summon the Totally Awesome to our side of the field right there. So this is kind of like almost our end board. We've got Totally Awesome that we're going to be able to special summon back. It adds back 2 times, which is pretty cool when it hits the graveyard. And then we've got the Splight Red, which negates monster effects, and the Gamma in hand, just in case they break our board. We have a follow-up hand trap. We're going to end here. Standby phase, yes. Activate the effect. Detach Ronin to summon Dupe Frog. And now we have an additional card to send to negate a monster effect. We have the Totally Awesome to negate a monster spell or trap and steal. And then once they have a monster on board and we don't have Totally Awesome, we can summon it back from our graveyard. It's not once per turn. We can negate things all over again. So that is, I believe, the last combo. I could probably go on for the next 3 days talking about Splight combos, but basically it boils down to 2 things. Can you get a level 2 monster on board? And once you do, you basically can just combo off. Some of them protect you from monsters, traps. You can easily play around a beer. You can easily play around a lot of hand traps because of cards like Splight Red and Splight Blue and stuff like that. The deck is extremely resilient to hand traps, and there's very good reason that very well will be a tier 1 deck in the game. The only thing that the deck is missing that it has in the OCG is Maxi. Because Maxi actually makes his deck significantly better because it is itself a level 2 monster, so you can combo with Maxi, bounce it back to your hand with Swap Frog, and then basically you can Maxi your opponent anytime you want. But that is it. If you would like me to make a video on how to beat Splights, this is obviously a video on how to play Splights. If you want me to make a video on how to beat Splights and all of their choke points, all the cards that you need to beat the deck, let me know in the comment section, and thank you for watching.